Alright guys, I'm going to try this tutorial again because my first one did not want to upload in 4K. So this is going to be a tutorial on how I make my 3D printed light boxes. I know there's quite a few videos on YouTube on how to do it, but as someone who's relatively new to modeling and using any sort of CAD software, I figured this might help out some people like me. So let's get started. You open Fusion 360, find your image that you like. We're going to do this Mario mushroom because it's pretty easy. There is a few websites you're going to want to use. First one's going to be remove.bg, and the second one is vectorizer.ai. So this image here has a white background. First thing we're going to do is get rid of that. So we're going to drag that into the background remover. And as you can see, it takes out all the background. I'm going to download it, drag it here. And we're going to go to vectorizer, plop it in here. As you can see, it cleaned up a lot of it. Kind of see the before and after there. Really does clean up a good majority of it. We're going to have to clean this up later in Fusion, but that's not a problem. So we'll download that. Here's the settings if you want to screenshot that. We'll download it, drag that over. So there's our two files. I like to keep everything in organization, so I'll keep kind of the images here. What we're going to do, open a new one, click the front, click over here to hit new sketch, click this view here, then we are going to insert SVG from computer, and click your SVG. Oh, I lied actually, we need to create our safe space for our printer. So I'm printing on a Bamboo Lab X1C, which is 256 by 256. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a rectangle and a center rectangle, which will basically center on that midpoint there. And we're going to do 230 millimeters by 230 millimeters. Hit finish sketch. Then we're going to create another new sketch. Click that same face, so just anywhere outside of the square. Then we are going to insert our SVG. Mine always does it upside down. I don't know if that's just a bug or I'm not sure, but you can just flip it. And then we're going to scale it as big as we can within reason and stay within those boundaries. And we're going to hit OK. Finish the sketch. Now we can hide that first sketch. We don't need that boundary line anymore, so we'll hide that. Might as well fix this now so we can actually just select it and delete it. And then now's the time to look around and see if there's any other weird lines that you need to fix. Like, we could fix that if we really wanted to. It's not perfect, but for the demonstration it's fine. Everything else looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our offset, which is going to give us any sort of border outside of this original image here. So if we wanted to do a white and then a black border, we could do that just to kind of make the image pop out more. So we're going to double click the outside line. You're going to hit O for offset. First one I typically do 2.5. If you look here, you can see it is not complete. So we're going to hit escape. Double click typically where it does not work at. O for offset again. You can see now it fixed that. So let's do 2.5. Press enter. And then we are going to do one more. So we're going to double click that inside line again. O for offset. 5.5. That's typically all you're going to need to do. Some people do a third. It just depends on what you're doing and what you're going after. So we'll finish the sketch. Now we're done with the sketch. Unless it's got some broken lines, which I'm not sure if this model is going to or not. But what we're going to do is select all of it. E on your keyboard for extrude. For the start, we're going to do offset. Then our first offset is going to be 38 millimeters. And our distance is going to be 2. We do not want this as a new body. We're going to do a new component. Press OK. And you can see it created the back plate, basically. It hit our sketch, which is fine. It's going to always do that. So we'll double click component. And then we'll call that backplate. And then you can turn sketch back on. And then now we're basically going to make Oh, as you can see, there is some sort of broken line. So if you look here, I cannot select inside of this. It's just not going to let me. So we need to figure out where that broken line is. So we're going to hide the backplate. We're going to right click and edit the sketch. Easiest way to do this is to create some lines going across. And then now you're going to look for, see how this will highlight. So this section is good. That's good. So we have some sort of break here because it's not highlighting. That's good. We have another break up here. Oh, nope, that one's actually fine. That's good, 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 good. So it looks like the break is somewhere right here, which should be pretty easy. I don't know typically where it breaks at. Normally sometimes you get like a white line, or one of these dots will be hollowed out, kind of like that. But what we will do is I am just going to delete this line, and I am going to use a tangent arc, which should in theory keep that same arch. So now if we hit finish, you see there's still some sort of broken line somewhere. So go back, delete that, and delete that. Oh, that's not what we want. Edit that sketch. I'm going to use that tangent arch again. And now you can see that it must have been that outer line causing it, because now I can actually click inside that. So now, easiest way is just delete these lines. Now if we turn our backplate back on, you can see, now this is another good thing, you can see it did not take that last outline because of our broken line. So honestly, we can just delete that backplate, go back to the front, highlight everything again, E for extrude, we're going to offset again, 38 millimeters, 2 millimeters for the distance, new component, and now you can see that it is working correctly. So I'm glad that happened, because it does show how to fix kind of a broken line. So now what we're going to do is create the actual box aspect of the light. So we're going to click that outside edge, E for extrude. You're going to click your backplate. You can see now it added the box. We do not want this to join. We are going to do a new component, and I'm actually going to call this black, because we're going to put all of our black extrudes under this. We can shut off the backplate. We don't need that. Technically, we don't need the black. Let's actually create the lip for the inside of the box. So on the second piece here, this will be where our lip comes out to connect the box, the front to the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to click inside on that second line, E for extrude. We're going to do from an object. You're going to click your backplate. I typically like to do 3 millimeters, and as you can see, it did. I actually hit enter in it. I closed it way too fast, but basically all you're going to do is join it to that backplate, and now you can see you got your lip for your backplate. And while we're here, we can do the hole for our lights to come out of the back. I do wall mounts, but most of them I just do a stand. So this one we're just going to click the backplate, create sketch. I like to use everything typically as the center rectangle, as it just kind of keeps stuff even. You can see here's where your inner lip is between these two, so we want to stay above that. So we'll click arc right here. My lights are typically 21 by 9. And then we will finish that sketch. Click inside the box, E for extrude. If you pull this through, you can see that it does change the operation to cut. And then hit OK. And then now you can run your light through that. We are technically done with the backplate. We do not need this anymore, so we are going to hide that. And then now is where we can start coloring. So we'll do our blacks first. So we got the eyes, and then the border, and then this. Oh, you can see right here we actually have another broken line. So we are going to have to fix this too, because it will not let me highlight it. So what we're going to do is go back to Sketch 2, Edit Sketch. Yeah, you can see it's selecting the whole thing. So we're going to create our lines again. And see, that's good, that's good, that's good. So the break is actually in 2 spots. So you can see it's broken here, and it is also broken here. So what you can do is technically you can make more lines if you want to narrow it down. So you can see it's good everywhere but here. So what I like to do is just, typically you can just hit this one and this one. I see it goes all the way around, so we really don't want to do that one. For whatever reason now, that one is fine. That's weird. So it looks like the only break now here is up here. So again, we're going to just select our line. It's good there, good there, good there, good there. So it's broken here somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to click, we'll just do this line, delete it, and then we're going to go to our tangent arc again and select the 2 points. Let's just finish sketch, that should take care of it. And you see it does not, we're still broken somewhere. So it could be that outside line. So let's delete that. We'll try the outside line here. And then we're going to do our arc again to those 2. This one's being really picky. It's still broken somewhere, so let's do our line again. So it's broken somewhere over here. Sometimes they're so small you just literally can't see them. So it's broken here. We're going to, let's just delete both of these lines. We're going to delete that one and this one. And then we're going to hit our tangent arc again on both of them. Man, I'm not sure what is going on with this one. It is still broken somewhere. Give me a second to mess with this. You can always fast forward if you have to. We can do another line here. It's broken somewhere like right here. Just click both, which is basically the whole circle at this point. Delete it. We're going to try this tangent arc again. And you can see now it's fixed, so it was really picky. I don't know why it was being so picky. So we are going to delete all these lines now. Basically all the lines that we just created to find that broken line. That's actually a good tutorial. I probably should have messed with this before just to see how bad the broken lines were. But it's all part of the process. Broken lines are actually the hardest part of making these light boxes. So we're going to finish that sketch, so we should be good now. So let's go back to extruding our blacks. We're going to click here. You're going to hit shift and click every other additional piece you want to do. And you can see now it let me select that circle. So we're going to extrude. I typically do 0.80 for all my stuff. Some people do thinner, some do thicker. It just depends on what you want to do. Now since this is black and we already have a black component, we are going to do it as a new body. And then as you can see here, if you open these bodies up, you can shift click all of them, drag them to black. And you can see we just need to, let's do the white next. So we'll click, shift click, do the eyes, and we're gonna do the outside here white as well. So we're gonna E for extrude 0.80. This time we're going to do a new component. Okay, and we're going to relabel this as white. And then now we can do the red. There's just this main piece, extrude 0.80, new component, and we are going to do it as red. And then now we just have like the tan. So we'll click that, extrude 0.80, new component, and we'll just call it, I don't know, peach. Okay, so now you can see everything is solid, which means we've selected all the pieces. Now we can actually color it. So what we're going to do is hit A on our keyboard. And I have all my colors favorited, but if you don't, you can go to Fusion Appearances, Plastic, drag this ABS up, and then you can edit them and then save them as favorites. Kind of saves some time, so we're going to do black, white, red. We'll just use this beige. And then what we can do is drag our blacks to the black, white to the white, red to the red, and then this beige to the peach. And now you can close it. We can actually shut off Sketch 2. And as you can see, now we have our light box. Turn your back plate back on. Technically, you could color your back plate if you want. So now we're basically done. I can create a stand for this. We can do that really fast, actually. So we'll go to the back, click your back plate, hit New Sketch. Now here we're going to be using a technique with the mirror tool. So what we're going to do first, we're going to hit P for project. You're going to click your back plate. You can see it shows one selected. Hit OK. Now it creates this little purple thing all the way around. You're going to want to double click it. O for offset. 0.1. Now what this is doing is it's getting a little tiny gap between the model and what we're going to start our stand, just to the tolerances for the printer. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do a line straight down from the dead center. Make sure it stays 90 degrees there. And then we're going to do kind of a basic stand here. We're going to do a line from about here to, we'll do about 100 degrees. And then we'll make a straight line about right here. We're going to go to that center line. And now what we're going to do is hit this mirror tool. We're going to select the two lines we want to mirror. Hit the select button here. Click that middle line and hit OK. And what you can see here, they're basically mirrored. Now, to do our stand, we're just going to do a basic stand here. You can get more complicated, and there are other videos on how to do that elsewhere. But we'll click this, shift-click this, E on our keyboard for extrude, and then we're going to do -40. And what that does is it basically makes the stand the width of our box. We do not want to join this. We want to do a new component, and rename this as stand. So basically that's it. You can also recolor your stand if you want to do black or any other color. And we're basically done. Now when I make my model, I make basically a fake table. So the easiest way to do that, you go to the bottom. We're going to create a new sketch. Hit this bottom stand. I like to use the center rectangle. Click the center of your model. I do 500 by 5000 and then hit OK. And what this basically does is we're making a fake table basically. We're going to click our new sketch, hit extrude, and then 40 millimeters. As you can see, we're going to do new component, hit OK, and then I just like to call this like table. Now what we can do is hit A on our keyboard, go find something cool in the wood. Let's do like bamboo. Hit close. And now when we go to render this out for our Maker World, or if you're advertising it or anything like that, it just looks nicer. So we can click design and render. I like to go to environment library and photo booth. This kind of brightens it up and makes everything look a little nicer. And now you can actually click save here, and we just took basically a screenshot of this. As you can see, that's what our render looks like. And that is basically it. So what we're going to do now, I guess that's not it. We're going to save all these files, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to hide the table. We're going to hide the backplate, and we're going to hide the stand. So basically you're left just with your light box. What you're going to do is right click here at unsaved, export, call this mushroom step, make sure it's step here, and we're actually going to change this to the files, save, export, and now you can see if we go here, it will save here. This is in the wrong spot, let's move this quick. So there's our main file there. Then we're going to shut off all the box aspect. Let's do the stand. So we'll click it, right click it, save it as mesh. It's going to save as an STL. Hit OK. Call it stand. And that's automatically going to go to the file, save. As you can see, it will go up there. So now we can do the backplate. Save as mesh. OK. It's called backplate, files, save. So now we have all our files. I do have a template to put them into Bamboo so that you can upload a 3MF to make your world. So let's import our mushroom step file. Let's add our colors now. So we will do red, white, and we'll do our beige. We can go to the objects. White will be 3, red is 2, peach is 4. You can see now you got your model. Now you can click it. Click lay on face. Click the face. Drag this over. I like to get it away from the text on the side because it does actually imprint on the textured plate. And you are able to see that. So we could move this within reason. Just be aware of your first line here. These auto calibration lines you shouldn't do on texture anyways. So you can kind of overlap them there. That should be fine. We will grab our stand. Plop that there. Oh. We'll lay that on its face. We'll move that there. And then the back plate, we're going to move this over. F for face, double click it, and then auto align it. Then honestly, that's fine how it is. And that's basically it. You would just save that and then upload this file to Maker World or whoever else you needed to give this file to. Let me go over my settings quick. So really, my lightbox settings, my PLA, I typically change my nozzle to 200. My volumetric speed's typically always 12. I use the same filament. And then I also go to cooling and shut off my fan speed. And then for quality, all I do is change the wall generator to arcane with a 50 angle over, or 50 wall transitioning. And then I change my first layer to 1.04, which is pretty crucial to cover pinholes and stuff like that. For strength, all I change is the internal infill pattern to monotonic, and then 20% on the overfill or the overlap. Then speed is a big one. I change the initial layer to 30, the infill to 90, and the outer wall to 100. And then that's basically how I get no wisp pretty much on my X1C. Obviously, every printer is different, so your mileage may vary, but that's basically it. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, but we touched pretty much everything in this video, on broken lines to pretty much everything else. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know, and I can upload a video and try to help you out. Thanks so much.